All right, you guys, welcome to our last leadership call of 2019. Thank you guys for being the top leaders. Thank you for showing up in your business and doing the damn thing every single month. Some of you are frequent flyers to the leadership call. I'm very proud of you. I love watching you grow. Congrats to Trish for getting this leadership call for her very first time. She also promoted Yellow, and she's just rocking it out, hitting fast start. We're super proud of you and excited for you to be on this call and just receive some of this kind of focus. Anytime you carve out time in your life to focus on your business, I believe that the universe recoups that back. So it's just energy invested into the karma bank of your business. And we have a special guest this week, as we always do, Black Status Jennifer Harris. We're so excited to have you, Jennifer. And I'm not going to spend any time talking because they hear enough from me, and I'm just going to let you take it away.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. You ladies are boss babes. I recognize every single name on here. I was scrolling through to see if I knew any of you ladies, and I recognize all of your names because we're all Lash Twin. So I see you guys, out there rocking your businesses. So first of all, congratulations for earning this call. It's a huge deal to be in a leadership group in this company. It's a very small percent that gets to the point that you guys are at. Now, there's a question that I want to ask you guys, just so I know how, I don't know, I'm like an aggressive talker sometimes. So to know how aggressively you guys want me to talk at you, and feel free to unmute yourself and tell me, I want to know just very simply, are you comfortable where you are as far as income in your business, or do you want to grow it?
I want to keep going.
Okay. What about you, Sherry? Oh, Sherry, I think you're on mute, babe. You just figured that out.
Unmute me. I kept hitting unmute and it wouldn't unmute. I'm definitely going to grow. I'm trying to reorganize to start my year off in a different note. So.
Okay. And Rachel?
Definitely want to grow.
Okay. So you guys are okay then if I get a little aggressive here, right? Okay. But in a loving way, like aggressive love. Okay. So here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of personal development and research and kind of getting myself back in the right place, because here's what happened in, just a little bit of backstory of my business is, I hit the ground running. When I first joined, there was like all kinds of, motivation internally for myself. And so I just kind of like went for it. I wanted Black status, like I wanted to breathe. And so I did whatever it took to get there. And I didn't give up. I didn't give up until I hit Black status. And then I took this breath, right? You guys probably have is everyone here is at least you're all green status, or Trish, or you're green status too, right?
I'm new.
You're new. Okay. So you may or may not have experienced this, but sometimes you set this huge goal for yourself, and then you hit that goal, and then you go, I did it. I made it, right? And then you unconsciously stop running and doing the things that you were doing to get to that goal. And what happens when you stop running and doing the things that you're doing to get to that goal is your business kind of slows down. The momentum slows down. Your energy slows down, and everything in life is surrounded by energy. Okay. If you want to build your team, your energy has to be focused on that. You have to be intentional with that. If you want to, have $5,000 in PRS in a month, your energy level has to be high and focused on that. So when you hit a goal and you kind of back down for a second, you're like, your whole energy level goes down, and the universe listens to that and it backs off with you. Okay. So I got to this point in my business where I was like, oh, I kind of made it. I achieved this goal. I got to speak here. I got to hit Black status, and I kind of slacked off. And because of that, my business went backwards. And I realized that, and I went, oh crap, Jen, no more. So I started high energy level, building again, doing all the things that I was doing before, the parties, the sponsoring, everything, the networking, doing it again. And our team got back to this point where we hit Black status 6 times consecutively, which was something that we had never done before in 2019 from January to July. And then I started going through a divorce, and my entire business fell apart. Like, it didn't fall away. But to be transparent with you guys, we haven't hit Black status since July. And so what I want to teach you guys from that is very similar to what Marie wanted me to talk about, and that is building. Because in this business, and I don't want that to scare you guys, because it's very, very normal, actually. And the more I've learned, the more I talk to the mentors and the gurus and the $1 million earners, guys, it's normal and okay to hit a rank and then not hit it again for a little bit. That's actually a normal part of growth in this company. So just because you get to blue status or green status, and then it takes you a little bit to build back past that, that's normal. That happens. And so I'm not alarmed in my business that, you know, we haven't hit black status since July, but I know why. Do you know why? I stopped building. And this business, the way it works is it is a leaky bucket. You have this bucket and you're constantly filling it, right? You're filling this bucket. There are small little holes in the bottom of the bucket. You have to make sure your job as a leader, your job to get to that next level, if you're not comfortable where you are, which you all said you're not, you all want more out of this business. You want more out of the income. You want more out of the amazing feeling you get when you help other people. That all comes together, okay? It's not just money, but I'm a green personality. I'm very numbers and statistical driven, so I talk about that a lot. So like, you want more out of this business, you got to fill that bucket faster than it's leaking. So for my personal experience, July came and I got hit with a bus. I stopped filling my bucket. I was like trickling in my bucket. I was like, let me just put a couple dabs of water in my bucket. And it was like whooshing out the bottom. Okay. You do not make the mistake I made. I don't care what it takes. Keep your dream and your vision in front of you. When you don't have your energy focused on your dream and your vision, you're going to stop pouring heavily into your bucket. So you all have heard the whole, make sure you know your why, make sure you find your purpose. But let me tell you something, guys, that is very important. You know what else is important is knowing who you are. See, I know for myself that I'm the kind of person that if I don't have a lot going on, I'm not doing a lot. But if I have a lot going on to the point where I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I thrive in that kind of situation. Okay? You might be different. If you feel like you need to have kind of a slower pace of, okay, maybe I don't need to do 25 things at once. You just need to focus on one thing at a time. If that's how you thrive, get to know yourself. It's okay to step back from the business, not step back from the business, step back from go, and analyze every once in a while. I try to do that about twice a year. I take a day and I say, okay, I'm going to do my posts and everything, but I'm going to breathe and I'm going to reflect on where I'm at and what I need and who I am and how I can be better in this business. And so one of those things, guys, is I realized for me is I was basically falling into this like laziness level because I didn't have enough going on because I had left my full-time job. See, I did better building this business working a full-time job than I did working the business full-time. And that's when I learned that I needed to add some more things to my plate. And ever since then, my business has been growing again. We're back on track to get back to black. And that's the kind of thing that I encourage you guys to do is as you're building, as you're growing, take a step back and reflect every once in a while on what do you need to get to where you need to be? Where do you thrive? And how do you optimize your growth for what your body responds to? Okay. And Marie is probably loving that because I know you're very in tune with all like connecting to your soul and everything like that. So make sure that you guys are doing that. Now, when you figure out what that formula is for you, then you want to make sure that you're constantly building because it is our job in this world as network marketers to educate everyone else about the opportunity and the products. Not force anyone to get on our team, but to educate them on our opportunity and our products. So how do we educate them? We get in front of as many people as possible. Part of that's networking. I don't want to talk to you guys too much about that today. I'd rather talk to you guys real quick about some tips about how I sponsored 9 people in 4 days before my husband and I decided to get a divorce and I stopped sponsoring for an entire year. I did this, not an entire year, like 7 months. But I did this and it basically cracked the formula for me. I've been learning about sponsoring and building, guys, for 5 years now. And it took me finding the right people to teach me the right ways and combining a bunch of different strategies to work for today's society, basically. Here's the thing though, I can tell you how to do this. And I've told multiple people, I've trained on this before. The thing is, you can take your notes, you can write it down, you can say you're going to do it. And I've been there for the past 7 months. If you don't do it, which I haven't, you're not going to sponsor people. You're not going to build, and you're not going to grow. So before you start doing how I'm going to teach you, I want you to make sure that you have systems in place. So that's why I want you guys to jump into the 3 o'clock call that's going to be happening today. I'm going to teach about the systems that we learned at GoPro, and I really will encourage you guys to work with Marie on them, because there are some systems that are going to be like specific to you guys, like to use in your own business. But some of these systems, you're going to have to rely on your upline a little bit. We need to be a bigger community with our uplines. Okay. That's something that we've been doing wrong in this business, in this company, is I think there's not been enough, working upwards. We work down a lot. You know what I mean? And so work up on some of these things. And I'll talk about that more. I don't want to talk too much now about that, because I want to give you guys what I want to give you guys. But I would encourage you guys to work with Marie. She's an amazing leader. Lean on her. It's very important when you're building that you make it look simple. And I'm going to explain that a lot more at the 3 o'clock thing, but you have to make it so that, like, if you think about it this way, right? Like if you think about it, like if I, think that I have to know everything about the company in order to succeed or sell one thing, am I going to sign up? No, I ain't got time, especially when you first start in network marketing. Nobody, maybe 1% of the people that start network marketing go into it with the mindset of, you know what, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to like be an expert and I have all the time in the world to dedicate to it. No, we kind of stumble into it. We kind of start slow. We want to know that we can win without knowing everything, right? So if you come off as an expert, it's going to be harder for you to sponsor. So what you want to lead with are stories. Stories are relatable. Stories touch emotions, and emotions are what connect people to making a decision. And when I learned that, when that finally clicked for me, that's when everything changed. And so I decided to do my own version of like a 20 and 30. And what I did was I compiled Eric Worre's training with Bob Heilig. And I kind of created my own little thing based on both of their methods. And Bob Heilig has learned from Eric, so it's kind of very similar. So the first thing you do is you put together your story. And your story has a few parts to it. So the first part is your background. You guys have probably heard Eric, been to convention, you've heard Eric talk about this before. So I'm just going to really quick summarize it. The first part's your background. I was a nurse. I was a full-time teacher. My kids are fighting. That's not part of my background. That's my current state. Number 2 is what didn't you like about it? Okay. So like I was a full-time teacher, but I wasn't making the kind of money that I wanted to make to build for my family. Or for me, I worked in corporate America in finance and I was traveling all the time away from my family. Okay. 3, when you had your aha moment. So for me, I was sitting in my car. Like, when did you know something needed to change? I was sitting in my car at an airport getting ready to travel again for that job and missing my kids' baseball games. And I just started bawling. And that's when I knew that everything had to change. Like something had to change, right? And then your next point is, that's when I stumbled upon this opportunity. You don't say that you went researching, blah, blah. You stumbled upon this opportunity. It was introduced to you, whatever, right? And everything's changed since then. Okay. So then you kind of give like a 1 or 2 sentence about what changed. Okay. So for me, I've been able to build a business now that lets me spend more time with my children and lets me earn the income that I think I'm worth, right? Not that someone else thinks that they're worth. Then, okay, so that's your story. Then what you want to do is you want to do virtual coffee dates. Okay. It's going to be a lot different if I type you that story versus if I tell it to you while you're looking at me. I didn't actually just tell you the story. I gave examples, but if I was telling you the story, you would feel the pain of what I went through. You would see the excitement in my face of how I feel now, right? Because I'm excited now. I feel happy when I get out of bed with excitement now instead of dreading getting out of bed and going to a job that I hate. So you guys are going to feel that, right? So what you want to do is you want to get as many people as possible into a virtual coffee date with you. And here's how I did it. I made my list of 500 people. Everyone went on it, okay? I went through my phone. I went through Facebook. I said, I'm not stopping until I get to 500 people. If you liked any of my posts in the past 3 months, you're on that list. If you commented on the post, if you watched my stories, if I even recognize your name on my friends list, you went on my list, okay? And then I said this to you. Hey, how's it going? That's it. I went through one day and I sent that to 100 people the first day, 100 people the second day, 100 people the third day, right? Till I got to my 500 people. And I think, honestly, guys, I think I only got through 300 of my people because, like I said, I started this thing, started seeing results, and unfortunately some life stuff happened. So in this whole thing, I sponsored 9 people in 4 days. Now, when I say 4 days, I mean from the start of messaging people. So when they come back to you and they're like, good, you know, how are you? And listen, you're going for the no, okay? Prepare for people to ignore you. Prepare for people to say no when you ask them the question. But the thing that I did is I reached out and I said, when they came back and they said, I'm good, how are you? I said, I'm good. Listen, I'm just going to cut right to it. I'm working on a huge project, and I would really appreciate it if you helped me out. I would love if we could have a virtual coffee for like 5 minutes sometime this week so that I could tell you what I'm working on, and you can tell me if you know anyone that can help me out with it. Okay? You're not asking them to do it. Do they know anyone? Okay? And then again, you say, no pressure, but again, it would mean the world to me if you could help me out. Okay? And then a lot of people will ignore you, but some will say, yeah. And you say, okay, well, what are some times that work for you this week? And I literally had like an hour by hour day printed out for each day. And I would fill in when these coffee dates were. I would have 6 to 10 a day. Again, this was only a 4-day sprint. Can you imagine if I did this for 30, right? For 30 days, how crazy this would have been? But in these 4 days, I had like my days, my things, whatever. So my very first coffee date, right? And guys, it was never coffee. I had like a water. Sometimes they were driving. Like, you know, it was just a way to get on the phone. So they would get on the phone and I would be like, hey girl, okay, I don't want to waste a lot of your time. So I'm just going to cut right to it. But before I tell you what I'm working on, I want to tell you kind of where I came from to get here. Okay. And then I tell them a quick story. And then I say at the end of my story, after I tell them how I feel excited now, right? And I say, so what I'm doing, with all that being said, what I'm doing is I'm actually, you know, I've done this before and I'm ready to do it again. I'm putting together an inner circle of people that are looking to change their lives the way that I have mine, that are looking to, you know, get paid their worth, that are looking to save up for something that they need to pay for in life, that just need to feel better. I'm looking for people that need that in their life. And I want to help them by putting them in my inner circle. In this inner circle, I'm going to link arms with them and I'm teaching them everything I've learned over the past 5 years. Everything I've learned, I'm going to work hand in hand with them. And we are going to take over the world. Like, I forget my exact wording. I have it written down somewhere, but it was basically that. Okay. And then I would say, does this make anyone you know come to mind? And let me tell you what happened on my first one. She said, yeah, me. And I said, really, girl? Because I'm ready. Like, let's do this. Are you ready? You want to do it? And she said, yeah, like, what does it entail? I said, well, you do have to get your starter kit, because I can't help you build a business if you don't have tools to build it with, right? So you have to get your starter kit. It's $99. It's super simple. I can help you through the thing. Like, if you're ready to do it, we can do it. But you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is like, Jen, shut up, get out of my face, and 10 is, I'm ready, let's do this right now. Where are you? And if they say anything 7 or above, I say, girl, let's do it. I only have so many spots. If you're ready to go, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this up. I'd log out of my back office. I'd pull up and say, I'm going to create you an account. What's your email? Okay, here's your temporary password. I'd give them a temporary password. I'd say, okay, I'm going to add this. Here's your total. What's your address? What's your card number? We put it in. I said, don't worry, girl, I'm not saving. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. They were giving me their social security number, which they don't even need anymore. Like, they didn't even care. Signed them up on the spot. Congratulations, girl. I'm so excited for you. All right. So we're going to get you in on the Insiders group. I'm still in the process of compiling it, putting it together. I hope in the next 2 weeks, I'll have you guys all together. We'll get everything up and running. I'm so excited to work with you, girl. Blah, blah, blah. Right? My mind was blown. I hung up the phone after that first call and I was like my face must have looked like this. Like, as she was like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, that worked? That just worked. Anybody else seeing this? Like, I hung up that phone and I ran downstairs and I like hugged my kids and I was like, I figured it out. course, this is how you build fast. And so we made this little board and we were trying to get to 20 and we were coloring in. And, life happened, but it was super exciting. And it worked. Sometimes people would say, oh, let me think about who, or no, it's not for me, or I don't know anyone. And that's fine. There were no's. But I will tell you, out of the people I talked to, it was kind of like a funneling process, right? It was the most exciting 4 days of my life. Most exciting 4 days of my life. And I can guarantee you that if I had kept going and I had done that 2 more times this past year like I wanted to, that our team would probably be very close to BS1. Now, I let myself down. Do not let yourself down. Do not be a Jen. And I'm gonna lead the way for us all, okay? Because I'm not gonna let you down, because now I'm gonna hold myself accountable. Because if I'm telling you guys to hold yourself accountable and to do this, why would I not do it, right? Why would I not do it? You guys gonna do it? Yeah? I'm starting mine again January 1st. So we'll see.
Yeah. We were already plotting a 20 and 30 run in January. So this is just a very practical approach for those of you that are getting on the bandwagon, especially the elite leaders. Holly just tuned in, especially the elite leaders. And Trish, I'd like to talk to you a little bit, because you don't have the same clout yet because you just started. So don't feel like you have to kind of say, I'm going to mentor you or anything like that. You could say instead, I'm looking for women that want to do this with me. And now you're bringing them along on the ride as a friend and as a peer, rather than feeling like you have to be the expert, like Jen was saying at the beginning. Those of us that are, green or higher, we could use our status and our experience.
Yes.
As
Marie, I'm really glad you brought that up, because yes, with the audience of this call being a leadership call, I would not train everyone, honestly, on this approach, because not everyone's going to do it. You have to have a certain drive in your business to do this approach. You really do. And you guys being leaders are the kind of people that do have that drive.
Well, what was kind of funny was because I had 2 sign up with me, and I am new myself. And it kind of like, I said, it was funny because I was like, you know what, let me take a shot. And I was like, you want to join? I said, you can grow with me. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, I wanna. Let's go for it. Now, I was kind of baffled. I didn't think they were really gonna do it, but they said yes, and I was like, great. So you're gonna grow and learn with me. So I was like shocked, but I was happy all at the same time.
Yep, and that's perfect. And it is a delicate balance of, when you're sponsoring in general, when you're newer and you're sponsoring, you do want to make sure and that you train your teams to use tools, okay? Tools and systems. And that's what the 3 o'clock call is going to be about. Because you're going to want your team, and like, even you though, like, okay, so let's say, Sherry, you get on the phone with me and you're like, I'm ready. Like, I'm linking arms with people. I'm ready to go. Does this sound like anyone you know? And I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. And you're like, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, where I'm like, 1, Sherry, get out of my face, and 10 is like, let's do it now. Where are you? And I'm like, like a 4. That's where you would say, okay, well, here, let me tell you something. I have this awesome tool that my mentor put together, or no, sorry, not awesome tool. I have this awesome information session that my mentor put together. It's right in Messenger. You can do it at your own pace. How about I send that to you and we'll touch base afterwards? Does that sound good? And normally they're like, yeah. And you're like, okay, cool. I'll send that to you as soon as we hang up. So you hang up. It's not your tool. And I'm going to talk about this at 3. It's not going to be your tool. Okay. Because you don't want them to think that Sherry put this together. And so now Jen has to put it together. And I don't know anything about technology. How Messenger, what? I'm not interested in this business. Because if I have to put that together on Messenger, well, I know I failed already. Okay. So your mentor has this tool. Okay. Your upline has this tool. So you send her the link to this Messenger bot, right? Which we're going to talk about at 3, or whatever. Maybe it's not even let's go old school. Maybe it was a video. Maybe it's a YouTube video. Okay. But the point is, it's something that you didn't create, so that they can see that they don't have to create everything to win. When they become, into the leadership reins and they rank up to that, that's when you start teaching people that stuff. But to get started, you want them to see that there are third-party tools that they can plug into and plug other people into. Because now I'm thinking, oh, all I got to do is send people this link to this chat, and then they learn about it, and then they may or may not sign up. That's easy. Versus I have to create this chat. No, you don't want to think that. So you want to plug them into like Marie's, for example. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I already have ManyChat. I'm just waiting till 3 o'clock to get my notes ready so that I can go ahead and create that. Whatever she's talking about, I'll be creating as soon as we get off the 3 o'clock call.
I'm so excited. Okay, do you guys have any questions before I jump off here to go get that all set up?
Out of curiosity, for those of us who suck with being inventive with wording, do you have any suggestions for wording? I was trying to write what you were saying, and I'm getting like one word here, one over there, because I just can't write that fast. Do you have any suggestions where to go to find wording? Because I don't have the eloquence there.
I honestly, you're gonna hate my answer, but my thing is be yourself. Don't.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that is not everyone is good with wording, and inherently every time I've used my own wording, it has failed. Every time I've used and tweaked somebody else's wording, it has worked. Because
so
not every I can't sit and write a book. I can't sit and write a letter because I am a numbers person. I'm a numbers girl. I'm not a word girl. And because of that, I can't transfer it over. I can't think of things on the spur. I'm not creative in that term. I can sit and crochet all day long. I can bake all day long. Don't make me write anything because I can't come up with the words for it. And everything I come up with.
You're talking about your story, right? Like basically.
But my story, yeah. My story I can do.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like when you're talking about, you know, I don't want to waste your time. You know, this is why I'm here. You know, and you tell your story and then you say, okay, I'm putting together my inner circle. When you're trying to get down to that little bit, a little bit more of the details of why they should come on.
So I have this training that I just did for you guys in a video. Marie, would you like me to give it to you?
I would love
that you can give to them. That way you can pause and stop and write.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
That'd be amazing. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, my story. I can tell.
That training, I think I actually even read my whole thing out.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
If you ever need any help with anything, I'm more than happy to help with wording because that's one thing I was actually good at. So I'm around to help anybody with that stuff.
Thank you, Trish. That's very sweet of you.
Anytime.
We all know I'm good with words.
That you definitely are.
All right. Anybody else any questions for Jen before she goes to prepare for her big talk after this?
No, because I'm waiting on that one.
You guys are going to be sick of me today.
No, we won't.
This was all really good. All right, you guys. Well, this one was short and sweet. Very good. Thank you, Jen, again for coming on. I appreciate you pouring into my team. I know that they are grateful as well. And I am so freaking stoked for 2020, you guys. This is our year. We are claiming it. We are walking in it. And we are about to manifest our true greatness. I believe in all of you and cannot wait to see what we're doing this year. Love you guys. I'll talk to you next time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.